Hello everyone and welcome back to Midweek Expresso with me, Daniel Demant, and on the other side of Skype, because we're still in lockdown from the coronavirus, is...
Piers Connolly. How you doing, everybody? This is the final episode of the season. Lovely to speak to you all. As Dan said, we're still in lockdown, so we're doing it over Skype again. But hopefully it's still going to be high quality like the earlier episodes. Today we're going to be recapping everything that we've done in this season, going over some points. And then at the end of this episode, me and Dan are going to set ourselves some challenges to do over the next 30 to 60 days, basically between now and the second series later on this year. We're going to set ourselves some challenges to do with things that we discussed. Yeah,
and also we'll be updating you when we start the challenges, so you know when we're actually doing it real time. Yeah. Well, I say real time, but over social media. And keep posting how we're getting on. Maybe we do some video little clips or audio clips, how we're doing, pictures, etc. Don't worry, we'll work it out. And so we'll keep it. Let us go over our progress or digress, whatever way it goes. Yeah. And keep you informed what is happening or Midweek Expresso-ness.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's our social media handle. If you want to follow the progress of these challenges, go ahead and drop us a follow.
Yeah.
Right. Shall we move on to the first topic?
Yeah, so guys, we're going to be recapping over, Piers has said, over the obviously the first episode was like an intro, 6-1 episode, which is one I listen to right now, is a kind of recap. So we did 4 main topics. We did sleep, why is it easy to be so negative, quality over quantity, and nutrition. So we're going to do a quick recap, and I'll let Piers take this away right now.
Okay, so let's start with sleep, which was episode 2. We discussed the thing that everybody needs. We discussed some really interesting points. Go and listen to that podcast if you haven't listened to it already. But there was 2 key themes in it, and they were how much sleep do you need, and does caffeine affect your quality of sleep?
And also it was we mentioned about chronotypes and me from that sleep specialist, and
that's right.
Talking about the best times when to go to sleep and when you should get up. But obviously he did. I don't know if we did mention it because I'm sure we did. Cause we are this professional. We are professional, I should say. That obviously it's not about the amount. Again, a bit like quality versus quantity, kind of that kind of phrase, is that it's not about having loads of sleep, it's about the right amount of sleep for your chronotype and the right time to go to bed till you get up, etc. So bear those things in mind as well.
Yeah, and as you said, depending on your chronotype is sort of relevant to how much sleep you need, because there's that old myth of you need between 6 and 8 hours sleep a night, which is fair enough. There's a 2-hour window there, so that most people will fall into that, but some people might need more, some people might need less. And if you do end up sleeping longer than you're meant to, say you only need 7 hours and you sleep 8.5 hours, that could actually set you off worse in the day. It's very hard to get into the right habit, but once you're in the right habit, it should be quite nice to stay in there.
And now another thing, I was reading over some notes for the second episode, which we didn't actually, I don't think 100% sure if we mentioned it or not on, well, I should listen back and double check this, but that obviously when you say try and have your meal, like obviously your last meal or snack or whatever, like hour and a half to 2 hours, at least an hour and a half, not at least, very close to bed sleep time.
Yeah.
When you're actually going to go to sleep, I mean sleep time to the children. When you're actually going to try go to sleep. Yeah. I was trying to think of a different word, didn't come to my brain. It's very late at night now. It's been a long day. Is that obviously take into account, try and stop drinking so much fluids. I'm not talking about like the caffeine, I'm talking about water. So it doesn't say you're waking up after 2 hours and 2 hours and a half sleeping or 3 hours where I got to go to the loo and things like that. Because I actually tried it last night, just by chance, like cut off drinking like fluids a lot earlier, and it seemed to help. So, it all helps to try and time slot what you're doing. I know it's a bit like back when you were children, but remember when we were children, still now, they had bedtime routines. I know some parents and some people let their kids go to bed whatever time, trying to, and I get that because you're trying not to make things too rigid and all that. But if you get yourself in a routine, the body will get used to,
There's a reason we have bedtimes.
Yeah. So, but I think the difficulty is a lot of people, if you live on your own or you're constantly on your phone or computer, you're always on your phone to last minute before you're about to drop into bed, isn't it? So it's hard to really go, right, an hour before bed, like no TV, get washed and changed, tidy your bedroom up, settle down, meditate or do some stretching or, like reading, whatever your thing is, so you can go to sleep. And it's hard to do that, especially
it's very hard to get into the right rhythm. Absolutely.
Especially finding something that actually you want to, like, for example, when I meditate now, I actually look forward to doing it. So for me, like, to look forward to going to bedtime is not really, I look forward to it. So it's really hard to keep things that's going to unwind you, and also you feel like you look, obviously looking forward to the sleep part of it, but like, I mean, the in between, like the decompressing down part of it, like it's finding stuff that you might not necessarily do the same thing every evening, but things that it's weird to say looking forward to, because looking forward to sounds like you're gonna, like, end up bringing your alertness up, but like something that you actually you enjoy to do that helps you sleep better over a period of time. That you realise that this works, that doesn't work. And maybe over time you do eventually get to kind of protocols, if you will, for bedtime, and that's all I'm trying to say.
No, absolutely. Again, just going back to the drinking before bed, fluids, yes. Right. Caffeine, particularly coffee, and sometimes like dark chocolate and stuff, that has a huge impact, doesn't it? On your sleep. Obviously there's that old wives' tale of don't drink caffeine after 2:00 in the afternoon, but it varies person to person. Well,
I think it's more of the 2:00 thing come from is people that go to sleep around, let's say, 9 or 10. So you give yourself that 6-hour window for it to leave your system. But one other thing I have tried, and I don't do it every evening, but I try and have broccoli in my last meal, like every other evening. So tonight I had it. So apparently, like what we mentioned in the sleep episode, that broccoli helps pull some of the caffeine out of your system a bit more. Don't know how, but apparently so.
Magical stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much sums up our sleep recount, doesn't it? So should we move on to the next topic? So episode 3 was, why is it easy to be so negative? Now, we covered some very interesting points in that. One of the main ones we actually talked about for most of the episode was sunlight in the UK, and that very famous statistic of people in the UK don't get enough sunlight, so they're vitamin D deficient, and it's just because it's so overcast all the time. And then we went into talk about how the sunlight and vitamin D can affect your mood and your well-being, and just how important it is.
Yes, definitely, yes.
And then we came across a product called what was it called?
A light box.
That's it, yeah. And it's designed so that you can have it in your office or on a shelf. You switch it on if you don't get much sunlight. In your bedroom, and then it's supposed to simulate the sun, and it gives off vitamin D and all that sort of stuff. That was that, and then we went on to talk about. And then we went on to talk about social media and how easy it is to compare yourself to others, even if you don't know them. It's very easy to do that, and how that can affect your attitude towards certain work and all that sort of lovely stuff. And then Dan was talking about how he has taken a break from some social medias. Is that something you're still doing?
Yeah, I am. Sorry, I'm just going to adjust my mic, people, because I am knackered and I want to sit down.
Yeah.
So, excuse me 1 second.
He's had a long day.
Very, very, very off the cuff and raw as we are. And my pop shield won't stay still, so I may regret doing this now. I just get to stay still. So, yes, I've cut down. I don't use social media. I did say actually in that episode, I've even got rid of everything. The only one thing I have put back on my phone is YouTube, because I do need it for certain things. But no Facebook, even Instagram, even though we are using Instagram to do with our stuff, Midweek Expresso, I don't have it on my phone. But at the moment, we're not actually doing any marketing to, the next few weeks we will be. So I'll probably need to put it back on my phone for that, because you can't, because the the one on your laptop, like Instagram and the app, it's not the same thing. It's not like Facebook on your computer or the app. It's a similar like layout and things you can do, and it's the same. But with Instagram, you're limited on your laptop or your pads and what have you, iPads.
Absolutely.
And that. Yeah. So basically, sorry, go around the houses there, but I've pretty much take everything off except for YouTube. YouTube's the only thing sitting on my phone because YouTube is more research, and I watch a lot of I watch a lot of Ricky Gervais podcasts, and when Steve Merchant and Carl Pilkington was on XFM, and I watched that to have a few giggles along my way in the day. So that's why I mainly re-downloaded it. And actually, I found a really good one with Carl Pilkington recently. He done an interview. It was actually really good. Actually, might drop that in the link of this one, or actually just give it to you, Piers, because it was quite funny. But all social media, long story short, it's off my phone. WhatsApp is being included in that social media box, sorry. But I've had it I had it when it was free.
Yeah,
and
me
I've had
too.
it since. And I see it as another way of texting, and I can do more with it than my normal texting. But I can do pretty much whatever I want to do with your standard text message application on your phone as you can do with WhatsApp now. But I don't count that. So just YouTube basically. Everything else is off.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, moving on to, it was episode 4, which was quality over quantity. We spoke about some really interesting stuff there. One of the main points was limiting down the projects you're working on so that you can put your absolute best into everything that you do. So it could be, say you're working on 5 projects at the moment, and it's sort of doing your head in a little bit. You can then look at which one you feel most passionately about, which one's going to be the most sensible one to do, just whichever one works out being the best to do, and then you drop the other ones for now. It doesn't mean you don't ever do them. You just stick them in the drawer underneath your desk and lock it and throw away the key for a bit, because it's quality over quantity. There's no point doing everything. It's that whole jack of all trades, master of none.
It's also that I got a phrase. Not I made this, by the way. I've written it down somewhere that I've seen on some sort of like motivational kind of website. Yeah. Saying wanting everything is close to achieving nothing. Something like that.
Absolutely.
Or wanting everything is close to having nothing. One or two. And it's very true. But it's very difficult. I've had, like with myself, like with my my health coach journey. Is because there's a lot of stuff I'm trying to figure out about my own health, and I'm figuring out, and then also I'm thinking about the person that's not me or has the same issues. It can then become like twice as overwhelming because you're trying to figure out what's going on with you to get yourself not so much perfect, but on your way of better health. So then you can help other people and then look at them from an external view, and you can see more what's going on. And you probably can fine tune someone else's new health and in your own, because it's like you see it from an objective, from an objective place, more than like you not letting your emotions of yourself getting in helping other people with their health objectively. When you got your emotions involved about your own health, that sometimes it can hard to get clarity of what you need to do to progress further forward with your own health. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah,
I mean, it's sometimes helping other people out can give you a bit of a more of a perspective on yourself, really.
Yeah,
and that works quite well. Yeah, you learn more about yourself.
Yes.
So another thing that we spoke about in terms of quality over quantity was surrounding yourself with people who will push you further. So obviously everyone wants loads of friends, loads of family around them, but what's the point in that if they're not going to actually be of high quality? And what I mean by that is if they're going to push you further in the things that you want to do, if they're going to stand behind you, give you good advice, ensure that your best intentions are at heart, it's better to have a few of those than 10 people that are just there for superficial purposes.
Well, yeah, exactly. And also, what I was going to say, or into relation to that, is if, like, say, I don't know, your friend or girlfriend or whatever, and they're into something that you would never be interested in, but you still appreciate it, the fact that they're interested in it and they're good at it, and that keeps you, and you want to know about it. But if someone like is know what you do, what you're interested in, and then they ask you a question, for example, and they just don't show no interest or not really listening, and then don't waste your time with them, because
exactly,
and
absolutely,
you need to put yourself around those people, or put yourself in a place where you feel like you're not being supportive, and not that they got to understand something to your level or to be as keen as the interest that you're interested in, but at least be supportive and understand that it's important to you.
Oh, absolutely. And if the people aren't there to push you, a lot of the time you'll lose motivation, won't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure it's something that everybody faces. You go to start a project, you're really into it at the start, but then because it's just you, then the motivation starts to drop off.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to episode 5, which was nutrition. Now, we discussed some really interesting points in here, the importance of good nutrition, and nutrition and your health and sort of your well-being, and how it all affects each other. So in terms of good nutrition, what we mean is getting the vitamins, getting the portions of fruit and veg you need in a day, how easy it would be to do so. And we covered some really interesting points, actually, didn't we? We spoke about the best ways to get those vitamins and minerals that you need. Being a vegetarian, I find it quite hard to do so. We spoke about some products and vitamin supplements that I've been using.
Rice Krispies.
Yeah, we had a whole conversation about Rice Krispies, didn't we? And how there's what was it? There's a lot of iron in Rice Krispies, isn't there?
Not a lot of iron, but there's a lot of good B vitamins, iron in it, and obviously to get the maximum amount, you probably have to have a box load of it, but there's quite a good lot of it. I mean, when I have Rice Krispies and a bit of a protein powder and whatever else, cinnamon on it or whatever I'm going to mix it with, seeds and nuts, I always have good energy and always feel like I want to work out or go for a run.
Yeah, and we spoke about a few recipes as well, didn't we? So we spoke about your pumpkin, you called it your pumpkin pie porridge, didn't you?
That's the one, yep.
Yeah, and what's pumpkin in that again?
Porridge. Well, without going into the grams, I'm not sure we spoke about that in the grammage, I think, of the measurements. Oats, obviously, the choice of milk. I put oat milk or almond milk. Pumpkin puree, pumpkin seeds, but I normally put in sunflower seeds, walnuts, or any choice of nuts, but normally walnuts. Season it with cinnamon. I put some prunes in it. Cook it in the hob. Normally, if I'm not being so lazy, I cook it on the hob. And then towards the end, I put the protein powder in. I'm using I don't want it to establish the flavour. I'll use vanilla, or I can't say the word properly.
Vanilla.
Vanilla, yeah. Or unflavoured protein. I'm using vegan one, funny enough, as I mentioned before. Not because I'm vegan, it's just I'm dairy intolerant, so I'm going to, not forever, but I actually do prefer actually using the vegan one.
Really?
So it just tastes pretty good. I mean, I do like the whey one as well, but I mean, it's hard to tell now because I've had that for so long now. I can't really remember what the almond tastes like. So I normally put like an unflavoured or vanilla protein powder in towards the end, mix it in. It comes out very orangey and bright, and then finish off maybe with some honey or stevia. I think that's it. Yeah,
gotta love some honey. And then we spoke about all like the 7 main types of foods that will improve your mood and your well-being. And I spoke about a breakfast that I have sometimes, and it's Greek yogurt, a couple of spoonfuls of that in a bowl, and then a handful of blueberries just scattered in there, drizzle of honey. I think you're missing with that. Did you say you put granola with it? You don't? No, I don't. I have seen it done with granola, but I'm not too sure whether I should add it or not.
Why?
Because it's quite high in sugar, isn't it?
Well, if you find one with no added sugar and quite lean, there's a lean one. Kellogg's do one, and it's £3 though, and you don't get a lot. I think that's 350 grams or 400, something like that in a packet. I just finished one off today actually. The only thing you got to be careful about is that 40 grams of that is like egg cup. It's like you don't get much from it because it's so dense in calories, and you know it's
you just gotta be careful with it. Yeah,
it's so locked down. So I normally like, for me to measure 40 grams, if I'm gonna add it with like sometimes I do like a I was thinking earlier on, like I do this some cereal concoction. So I'll put some brown flakes, some Rice Krispies, some granola, or a little bit granola, a little bit normal dried oats, protein powder in, cinnamon, my nuts, and then my milk. And it's like a mix of different like seeds and cereal, and it's quite nice. This is when you know you don't want something warm, you want something cereal-ish. If it's the morning, so I don't mind having extra carbs because obviously I'm going to be more active in the day. It's going to be utilized correctly. So I normally use that granola, and I think it's the blue one. You can get other ones that are low sugar. There's another brand. It's by a lady. It's in the
Aunt Bessie's, is it?
Aunt Betty's?
Yeah.
No, it's not Aunt Betty's. No. It's no, it's not Aunt Betty's. It's it's in like a resealable kind of bag, cereal one packet. And it's like free. You got like the normal one, low sugar one. There is a maple syrup one, and there's like a blueberry one, I think I was saying. But the one I'm using is from Kellogg's, and they're trying to do the version of that brand, which I can't remember the other brand name now. But if I do remember, I'll try and put it in the description.
So something else we spoke about as well was just what's on my mind was the importance of shopping locally and trying to get stuff. If you can't shop locally at a farmer's market or anything, because let's face it, it's not realistic for everybody, for most people actually. Try and
lazy
get foods. Try and get foods that were made in Britain. You'll see the little stamp on the fruit or vegetables or whatever. It's so much more fresh and new that it's filled with so many more nutrients.
Well, that's I don't know if we mentioned that in the last episode, but I was going to say a lot of people try and eat foods they like all year round. The only trouble with that, you're not giving your body a break and used to different seasonal vegetables and fruits and other stuff. And another thing I was going to bring up was quite fun. We were talking about locally grown. It's like. And I actually hadn't had one today. I had the banana, but like for example, banana and avocados are not from this country at all, right? So we shouldn't even be having them really, but we do have still. But I was saying like things that are not locally grown. That's what I think is one of the challenges that I'm going to do, which we're going to summarize and talk about in a moment. Is that I'm going to look into more like eating more locally, more seasonal, and it actually doesn't make a difference on your mood. And do you feel better, or is it all placebo? You know, is it because sure there is a benefit in it, because people would talk about it, different nutritionists and different health doctors now, and you know, and the guys from Primal Health, they talk about trying to eat more seasonal, trying to have more foods more locally grown, animals locally as they possibly can be, but if you put aside the seasonal eating, when you're shopping your fruit and veg, you just take a glance where it's coming from. Try and and if it says in UK, it's better than nothing. I was trying to say absolutely, we can't get everything, especially at the moment. Obviously, the harvesting is not really happening as much as it should be because of the lockdowns and all that in the UK. So it's even less easier now. But if you can, try. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, talking about those challenges, I think it's time we move on to them. So, out of the 4 topics we've just spoken about, so sleep, why is it easy to be so negative, quality over quantity, and nutrition, we're gonna pick a challenge from each topic, and so there's 4 challenges in total, and we're both going to do 2 each. So without further ado, Dan is going to be doing a 30-day no caffeine challenge.
And that, I mean that's actually meaning all caffeine. No, not including chocolate. That is going to be tough. It's going to be, because easy to say, okay, no tea or coffee. It's still a struggle, and over the period of time of the year. But then you have that bit of chocolate. You go, oh fuck!
I think you're going to struggle. I think you're.
It's going to be first 2 weeks is going to be like a nightmare. But hopefully,
start getting the shakes.
I think we plan on trying to do this maybe in June. I think I want to see how Mamma Mia. No, see how May hopefully some of the lockdowns restrictions will be lifted, so we can see more people doing more things. So it may make it easier because it takes your mind off it and stuff like that. Or you can make it more harder because people go, hey, come out for coffee, or try this dessert with chocolate, and you'll be like, oh God, leave me alone. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's absolutely. 30 days, unless I'm going to quarantine myself for 30 days with the coffee, no caffeine in coffee and chocolate, and it's going to be brutal. Anyway, what was the next one, Pierce? What was you going to say?
So Dan's second challenge is going to be for 30 days. He's going to get local foods, and he's going to try and do some seasonal eating. So do you want to explain what that involves?
Well, as I just mentioned a moment ago, it's just try and be aware what's in season. If the lockdowns are still happening, and they're going to struggle to get local stuff, even if it is locally farmed, if things are not harvesting that well at the moment, so it might be a bit of a struggle. Because you may notice when you go to shops now and you buy like a broccoli or celery, it's all got Spain on it. Everything's coming from a lot of it. Or Peru or Egypt, some places. So I'm gonna try my best. If I struggle, that has to be the first thing. Is like whatever I do get, try and be as local as I can, even farm stuff, like meats and stuff and poultry. Poultry. Is that I'm saying poultry?
Poultry.
That's the one. Haha. I'm gonna try my best. If not, I'm gonna try and eat the vegetables that are in season, but I see from another country. Try my best anyway.
Absolutely. So those are Dan's two challenges. So no caffeine for 30 days. And then for 30 days, he's going to get local foods and try seasonal eating. Now, my first challenge is going to be, this is an interesting one, 30 days meditation. So I don't get on very well with meditation, but Dan raves about it. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to get an app, and I'm going to set some time aside and attempt to do it and see if it changes my mood or anything like that.
Sort of a funny joke there, but I'm not going to say it.
It's going to be interesting.
The easiest way I think to do this 30 days is get the Calm app and do the 30-day one. Now, I don't know if I mentioned it before on the episode when we was talking about this, but obviously after a week's trial you have to pay for a year subscription, which I think it's only £28, but I think it's worth it.
That's not bad actually. £28.
You work out over the year, it'd be like next to nothing. So that might be, instead of just meditating on your own and just like, why am I, doing this, or whatever, and it works out like 9p a day or whatever it is.
That's not bad at all, Wait
a minute. No, 28. Sorry, over the year divided by 12. No, that's not right.
It works out very cheap anyway, doesn't it?
Yeah, it works out very cheap anyway. Yeah, so let's not do the calculation and making myself silly. So that's one way, or not necessarily Calm, whatever app. I'm sure they'll have some sort of 30-day challenge thing, but absolutely. Calm would be the one I will go with because it's the one I've been using. And the fun of it, you can say the favourite ones you think that most resonate with you. But I keep meaning to go back to something, but I can't wait to see what the next day is and what it's going to do. I mean, essentially, it's all breathing. It's all about being present and being still, and equanimity, if I'm saying that correctly, is about inner calmness and stillness, and things are always going around you. You're aware of those things, but you're not getting distracted or drawn to those things, and that's what the meaning of equanimity, if I'm saying the word right. But yeah.
Fair enough.
Stop dribbling on. 30-day challenge for Pierce. 30 days of meditation, and I think if he uses the Calm app, it will help him immensely. So
it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Anyway, my second challenge is going to be for 30 days. I'm going to take 5 to 10 minutes out of the working day to relax, unwind a little bit, and see if the quality of work improves once I go back to it. So it could be stepping away from work for 5 minutes, going out, getting a breath of fresh air, coming back, doing a little bit more work, taking another break, having a glass of water or going and making a tea, just something to break up the day a little bit that relaxes you, and then see if the quality of your work improves, which I think that could be quite an interesting experiment, don't you?
I mean, if you're going to do it for 10 minutes, say, you might do it twice. You might do a 5 minute and 10 minutes.
Exactly.
15 minute a day. So I think really just still looking at start again, instead of just looking at this for 5 minutes somewhere. 5 minutes will go like that before you know it. So maybe look at it as this more taking more regular breaks for 5 minutes. And also maybe one of those breaks is try and do the meditation 2 for 1.
Yeah, that's very true. Good time management there. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of time management, we're just about out of time. So we would like to say thank you very much for sticking with us this time. Again, you can follow our progress on these challenges for our social media, which is at Midweek Expresso on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And of course, we'll, as soon as we kick off season 2 later this year, we'll review our challenges, see if we've actually met them or not, if we've had any trips or any just downfalls completely, or see if we've succeeded. It's all up in the air.
Yeah, so we're reviewing and going to more in depth with the second season. Talk about it a bit more. Obviously, we'll keep you updated as we're doing them. And then if we think of any more in between, we're going to try and do launch season 2 later in the year, sort of early winterish time. We'll keep you posted when exactly the month end date. But obviously, if someone comes up in between, we think of, we might do it off the cuff. We might even do in between season, maybe a podcast here and there if we feel like we need to maybe talk about the challenges, or there's a topic is quite recent that we want to discuss. Who knows? But main thing is we're keeping informed of our challenges. That's the main point there, what Pierce was trying to make.
Absolutely. You may hear from us in between seasons, but if you want to stay more updated, of course, please just do follow our social media accounts. We will aim to post on there regularly.
Yep. And we should do so because we are professionals after all.
Of course.
Professional people.
Yeah. Well, with that note, thank you so much for listening to season 1 of Midweek Expresso. I've been Pierce Connolly.
And I've been Daniel Demant, and look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Let's say that again. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next one with my DJ radio voice. That's how I'm going to exit this one. Okay, guys, have a great summer. Stay safe. And keep fresh.
See you next time.
See you next time.